So what do you think about gun control and how we should solve the problem for... Don't ask about my sign. Just ask. What do you think? What do you think about the?
It's not.
The.
I'm a student. It's not a gun ban. But to the government, I am a dollar sign. We're trying to make it harder for a 17-year-old to go into Walmart and get an AR-15 and shoot and kill 17 people.
Do you know what an AR-15 is?
It's an assault rifle. Yes, I'm aware what an AR-15 is.
Okay, so right off the bat, there are multiple things wrong with everything she's saying. A 17-year-old cannot just walk into Walmart and buy an AR-15. It's illegal. And I know that, criminals will not stop to break the law. But a child who's 17-year-old cannot obtain a firearm from Walmart. It's just not possible. I mean, it probably could happen if, he stole it or blah, blah, blah. But they're in cases. And besides, Walmart doesn't sell AR-15s anymore. Not only that, but the kid who shot up Parkland and both the kids that shot up Columbine, they bought the guns legally. But they should have had mental screening, which is the thing that we should implement. Not only that, she called the AR-15 an assault rifle, but in reality, it's not. An assault rifle is a military-grade automatic weapon, and the AR-15 is a semi-automatic civilian-grade hunting rifle.
We're not trying to take away guns, because that's an impossible task to ask. We're trying to make it less harder for students to be killed in a place where we're supposed to learn.
I'm afraid that one day I will have to hide in a closet and have rocks in a bucket so I can attack the shooter.
Can I interview you?
Please do not tell me that I'm just a teenager,
okay. So,
a child, someone who knows nothing.
What do you think we should do to solve the gun violence problem in America?
We should all kill ourselves.
No, I'm seriously. Like, what do you think we should do?
But the only numbers I do not want nor wish to be a part
Put
of
people being investigated by the FBI on a list to where they cannot receive firearms legally.
Now, this kid's pretty smart, recommending that we ban people on watch lists and no-fly lists from buying guns until they're clear, because I feel like that, the kid who shot up Park Lane was on a watch list, and, a couple other terrorists have been on watch lists, and they bought the guns legally, so that should not have been allowed to happen. And again, more mental screening. If you have a mental disability, like if you have bipolar disorder, you should not be allowed to go buy a rifle.
Thousands fighting for what they believe in.
So,
I want to be a part of
do you believe in gun control? Do you think that we should ban guns or control them?
Ban guns, no.
Fellow classmates. I wish to be a statistic,
but put people from the no-fly list, like suspected terrorists, on a no-gun list so they can't get guns.
I wish to be a voice for those that cannot talk, a voice for those 13.
So, what do you think about gun control and how we should stop gun violence in our country?
There is no genuine solution. There have been multiple examples across the world, for example Australia or Britain, where citizens aren't allowed to get guns. There's still shootings and that, but it's sourced from outside of the country, not inside. There's AR-15s, like $200-300. You can go get it at Walmart on the black market. That same gun is like $12,000 to $14,000. It goes from somebody being able to walk into Walmart and coming out with an AR-15 and go shoot up a nightclub for shits and gigs to somebody having to plan this. For example, only people that would be able to do this are like massive terrorist organizations, but that wouldn't really change from this current situation.
This guy knows what he's talking about. He's obviously researched this and is very invested in the topic. And this just kind of shows you the wide range of opinions that we have actually out here at the walkout, because, later in the video you'll see people think that, everyone out here is just there to, either A, skip class, or B, this liberal agenda, but that's not the case. And especially this kid who mentions Australia and massive terrorist organizations, he knows his stuff. And it's good, because young people, our generation, should be informed about the kind of topics they're protesting or are for. And I think that being informed and knowing the facts about the stuff that you're against or for is very important.
So what do you think we should do?
For what?
Stop gun violence, stop school shootings.
There's nothing we can do apart from restrict them as best we can. There's no massive solution.
Do you think the public should have be available to buy AR-15s and be able to own them?
The AR-15, I don't know why it's such a big example. There are numerous other guns that are significantly.
Did you know that
better than
80% of all gun homicides are committed with handguns?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's not even. The people just see a gun that looks like something used in the military and think that's the most violent one you could possibly get.
Well, the AR-15 is actually I'm interviewing someone. It's actually a civilian grade of the M16. So it's not military grade at all.
No, they say it looks like the military. It looks like something you would see in the military. And they latch onto it like, oh my god, this is the worst gun a person could possibly own. No, there are significantly worse ones.
Yep, you can see my sign. Black rifles matter. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, as that conversation showed, this kid definitely knows what he's talking about. He's researched the stuff that he stands for. He's researched the stuff that he doesn't stand for, and he knows what's going on.
All three of you, sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let me go out wide. Right. So, what do you think? Yeah, I am.
Nice.
So, what do you guys think about gun control?
Are you gonna control?
I've got pretty good control, right?
When I have guns, I have great control over them.
Well, no, like I'm talking about the restriction of buying weapons.
It's not gonna do anything. There's so many guns out there already in circulation.
Well, what do you think about
I feel like
police go and seizing those guns? What do you think about that?
There are hundreds of millions of guns out there, and police cannot seize all of them.
I feel like if a kid wanted,
if you want a gun,
really
you can
wanted
get it.
to, he could get it really easily.
Marijuana is illegal, but I know plenty of people who smoke.
I did too.
So is like seal meat. I think that's like high ticket item on the black market.
Seal meat?
Seal meat?
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would love to try.
Do you guys know? Do you guys think the AR-15 should be available to the public to buy?
No, definitely not.
Why is it just the AR-15? There are other
There should be
rifles
no
that are
fully
stronger than that.
automatic
I know.
guns that should be available.
Do you think the AR-15 is fully automatic?
I don't know.
I do not have any research on
Sorry,
that.
I don't have any guns.
Only pistols should be
if this is
available
what
to
you're
the
trying to
public.
get
Did you know that 80% of all gun homicides are committed by pistols?
Okay, it's because those are the only available ones.
Rifles and shotguns are actually much easier to get a hold of than pistols, as at age 18 you can buy a rifle and shotgun, whereas at age 21 you can buy a pistol. And there's actually many restrictions with pistols. You have to get, different permits and such, get, different registrations and such, because pistols are much easier to hide. So it's not easier to just get a pistol, and they're not the only available guns, as more rifles and shotguns are actually made than pistols.
Not the only available.
Those are the easier. Those are the easier ones.
I like those stats.
We're broke.
They are easier to hide.
Actually, rifles are much easier to buy. Pistols are just easier to hide. That's why 80% of them are committed by pistols.
They're easier to hide.
So
You said
You researched, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I know a plethora about this topic.
You planning?
Yes, I was planning.
I just got made a fool of in front of Greg. All right. Okay.
Great.
But no, seriously, the AR-15 is the most popular hunting rifle on the market. It's semi-automatic. It's the 22 round. 22 rounds are about that big.
Oh, I've seen the entry and exit wounds on.
You see, they acknowledge it too, that criminals will get the guns if they want to get the guns. But here's the thing, like the other kids said, a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, black market and stuff, that's all going to be open for anyone to get guns. I mean, even like the first girl said, like a 17-year-old, he might not have $1,300 to invest in an automatic weapon, or he might not even know where to go to get one. But if people want to, buy a gun illegally, they're going to be able to do it illegally. But if we have like the second kid said about not allowing people that are on no-fly lists or no watch lists and stuff like that to get guns, if we don't allow that, then we are going to be significantly safer.
Yeah.
I think teachers should have guns.
The majority of gun owners are law-abiding gun owners. So why should we punish law-abiding gun owners for other people's actions?
I think the screening should be better.
Teachers should have guns.
Screening should be better.
Screening should be a lot better.
Teachers should have guns.
Teachers should have guns. Armed teachers?
Yeah. Be like armed teachers.
Aren't you offended?
No.
This is black rifles.
So, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys.
I support your black rifles matter.
Thank you.
I like how it's on cardboard.
Cardboard means it's genuine. It's from
You look like a homeless guy just walking around with a camera.
Hi, can I interview you for my class?
Sure.
All right.
Black rifles. Okay, why?
What do you think?
Be gone. Go away.
I'm interviewing someone. Please don't disrupt my interview. So, what do you think we should do to solve the gun violence problem in America?
Well, obviously,
Eat out.
there's a better way of dealing with these problems than we have in place already. I feel like stricter gun laws would be a better step, right? And I mean, making them harder to get in general would like plummet the cost. Like for example,
now when you say stricter gun laws, what do you mean by that?
well, okay,
How do we make the gun laws stricter?
Either make the guns harder to get, as in like you need a more in-depth psychic and like evaluation to see where your boundaries are, to see how easily you could snap and turn to the gun, right? You could do a a background check on not only the person trying to get the gun, but along with the person, like the people in their lives.
That's
right.
great.
And in terms of what I meant by like making the guns themselves harder to get, making them more expensive, right, commercially, would obviously be a good deterrent for people wanting to get them.
But you see, even though I agree with a lot of this kid said about psychic evaluations and stuff, he doesn't understand that if I come out of high school, and like most Americans, I don't go to college, and I just go straight into the workforce, I'm going to be pretty poor. And when I go into a low-income neighborhood, there's a lot of crime in low-income neighborhoods. So I'm going to need something to defend myself. And then if the government makes like prices mandatory on like certain guns, like if they just jack up the prices on that, that's restriction of the free market, which I don't believe in. Free market's very important. The freer the market, the freer the people. And B, how is someone going to be able to afford a gun so they can defend themselves in dire times? Or, go hunting with their son. Or, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Do you think that AR-15 should be on the market and be available to the public?
AR-15s are the automatic rifles, right?
AR-15s are not automatic rifles, actually.
They're semi-automatic?
They're semi-automatic. Do you know what the AR and AR-15 stands for?
No, I do not.
AR-15, the AR and AR-15 stands for Armalite, which is a company that makes it. So it doesn't stand for automatic rifle, it doesn't stand for assault rifle.
Okay.
The AR-15 is most popularly used because it's easy to get. And I do think that we should, probably have some more background checks on that and stuff.
Yeah.
But did you know that the AR-15 is actually the most used hunting rifle in America? It's like a 22, semi-automatic. And shop owners in Chicago need that gun to defend themselves against gangs who have automatic weapons.
Yeah.
So do you think that should be available on the market?
I feel like they should be harder to get in general, right? I understand there's still going to be, a black market for it, and they're still going to get to the wrong hands regardless, right? I don't expect those changes that I had referenced earlier to just outright solve the problem,
Yeah, definitely. It's not a problem that we can just solve.
Exactly.
Murder will always exist as long as humans exist.
Yeah, there's nothing we can really do about that, but we can help make those numbers go down.
Okay.
All right. And while I do understand what you mean by like those shop owners do have to defend themselves in some sort of way, right? Recently, actually, I had been in New Jersey, in Patterson, actually, which is one of the worst areas in New Jersey to be in general.
Yep.
And their gas stations, because I was trying to buy a pack of AA batteries, their gas stations are actually, they don't have a walk-in gas station. They have a section where one guy stands in the store alone, right, with a pulling system where they put the money in and out, kind of like a bank teller, right, with bulletproof glass in front of them.
That's interesting. Yeah, and New Jersey's really crime-ridden, so that makes sense.
Well, this New Jersey gas station scenario doesn't really fit the topic of school shootings. I do think that these New Jersey gas scenario can be used for many things, especially the sale of guns. If we want to put that into effect in gun stores, and maybe even if you want to do the school thing, right? Every student has to turn in their student ID before they go into the school. In that sort of way, but they have to put it into a bank teller, box, and the resource officer who's looking at their cards, okays them, they scan it or something, and they go in. And that would actually be a lot more efficient than having to get scanned by like a metal detector or get patted down or clear backpacks.
All right, so thank you for your interview. This will be used in a collab video. I'm putting a lot of interviews together, and we're going to make a video release it to the school. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can I interview you for my video production class? Okay. So what do you think the solution is to gun violence in schools?
Definitely just more security, because a lot of people don't realize how important security can be. And for instance, a lot of people, even though they're not supposed to, they'll open the doors to students coming in late when they're not supposed to, because they're supposed to go through the front office, and even that could make a difference, just making sure everybody goes through the front office.
Do you think AR-15 should be available on the market to buy?
Definitely not.
What do you think so?
I'd understand like a small handgun maybe, but
did you know that 80% of all gun homicides are committed with handguns?
Mm-hmm.
And you think that those should be readily available more than AR-15s?
I really don't think any gun should be available to the public unless you are law enforcement or have completed like a long training to own a gun and show that you're capable of doing what's correct use for the gun and using it only when it's completely 100% necessary. It's a life or death situation for you.
So basically she's saying that if we wanted to get a gun, that we would have to go through some rigorous training program that would take like 4 to 6 months. I'm not gonna put words in her mouth, but and we would basically have to go through a lot of extra stuff to get through guns. Now, I get that more security when buying a gun is important, like I said before about the psychiatric evaluations and such, but the thing is, she says that we can only use them, or we should be able to only use them, in a matter of life or death situations. I don't think that's, right. If I want to go hunting with my dad, or, I'm a father, I want to go hunting with my son, or I want to go, if I want to go hunting, or let's say I want to own a gun, keep it over my fireplace just in case of self-defense, or my neighbor getting attacked or something, stuff like that. I do think guns should be available for that, because that's what the founding fathers intended when they made the law. It wasn't just to, defend yourself. It was also to, go hunt and things they did in the daily back then. And it's quite important to me and many other people who support the Second Amendment that these things stay in place, because a lot of people who support the Second Amendment do own guns and they do hunt. And it's very important to them that they are able to keep that right.
Do you know the meaning of the Second Amendment?
No, I do not.
Okay, so the Second Amendment is the right to own a firearm in the case of a government being too oppressive. So, let me ask you a question. What's your opinion on Donald Trump?
I personally don't like him. I understand why people do, because my sister is a supporter of him, but I personally don't think he's that good of a person, and I don't feel like he's capable enough to run an entire country.
Okay, so let's say he got a bit too carried away with his shenanigans, bombs North Korea or something, right? And he gets a bit too dictatorial, right? So what are you and the general populace going to be able to do to, quote unquote, revolt against Donald Trump without guns?
We can make a stand. He has his towers and stuff like that, and people can just rally around that. And if there's enough pressure for someone to do something, they will. They will crack under pressure, and no matter who you are, no matter what's going on in your life, you will probably crack under pressure if there is enough pressure on you. Because not everyone is just a solid figure. People get scared, people have fears, and if you're able to find them from a person, you can use that against them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
So, if I get my guns taken away by the government, and Donald Trump is running the government, and I want to protest, or not protest, if I want to revolt against Donald Trump, and I want to depose his dictatorial reign, if I want to free myself, like it says in the Constitution, I am going to take a sign and put on it, F Trump, and I'm going to stand outside his tower and yell. And Donald Trump, who is in Washington, is going to cave under pressure, even though people from day one have been protesting around his tower, throwing Molotov cocktails, hitting people over the head with bike locks, all this other nice stuff, right? But yes, he will definitely crack under pressure with you and your sign without a countable weapon to be able to use to defend yourself against the oppressive government. Yep, go ahead.
Tristan, can I interview you for my video production class?
Sure.
All right. So, what's your opinion on gun control?
We need it, but we kind of need more than just that. We need fucking restrictions on everything.
Like taking away all guns. Do you agree with that?
I wouldn't say all, but harder restrictions for acquiring guns.
Okay. Do you think the AR-15, the weapon used in Columbine and in Parkland, should be a legal weapon that civilians can buy?
No, it shouldn't be able to just have anyone like acquire one.
Do you know what the AR and AR-15 stands for?
Automatic rifle.
The AR and AR-15 actually stands for Armalite. Armalite is the company that makes the AR-15. The AR-15 is not automatic. It's semi-automatic. It's a hunting rifle. It's the most popular hunting rifle in the U.S. actually. It shoots 22s, and I don't know if you know what those are. Those are like one of the smallest gun rounds. It was created as a response to the M16, which is the government's fully automatic military weapon. So it's to defend ourselves against the government. Shop owners in Chicago need this gun because gang members and gangs, they have automatic weapons because they send their members into the military to get these high-grade weapons. And the Chicago gun owners need the guns to defend themselves. And like I said before, it's the most popular hunting rifle. So what do you think about that?
I'd say for that situation, yeah, they need the gun to defend themselves. But along with that, making them available to gun owners, shop owners, makes it easier for
There's
other
an
people.
active shooting right now.
Where?
Ocala.
I mean, this morning he got a referral and he was super happy.
Yeah, that, but they need to just have them less easier to access, especially for the shop owners.
Emily, can I interview?
But basically, this guy who believes in almost total gun control, when I stated the facts to him, he kind of agreed with me. Not really. Didn't think I wavered his stance, and he's probably going to forget everything I said. But as we were saying this girl, Emily, comes up to me and tells me there's a shooting in Ocala. And he gets like, oh, okay, that, right? The shooting in Ocala was not done with an AR-15, ironically. It was done with I think it was a shotgun or some sort of other rifle. But it was not a AR-15 that I know. And no one died. Someone got shot in the ankle. And you know why? Because a resource officer and a teacher stopped him. So, back to the point the three guys made earlier, arming teachers or, more police presence or more resource officers on the campus and such, that could really help the entire situation. But, yeah.
Can I interview you for my video production class?
Sure.
All right. So, Ethan, what do you think about the whole gun control thing, the buying and restricting of guns?
You mean my stance?
Yeah, what's your stance?
I believe there should be extensive restrictions and background checks and just something to make sure that guns never get into the wrong hands again.
Never again. Enough is enough. Never let the guns get into the wrong hands ever again. That's all I hear from a lot of these protesters. And, honestly, criminals are going to get guns no matter what. Gangs send their members into the military to get automatic weapons. And when you go to collect the guns from the law-abiding gun owners, they're probably going to give the guns to you. You know why? Because they're law-abiding gun owners. They abide by the law. But what about the criminals? What about the Crips and the Bloods down the street? Are they going to give you your guns? No, they're not. And we don't support the police enough in this society anyways. So when the Crips and the Bloods start killing people, and people die in the crossfire between their stuff, and other gangs start killing people, the police aren't going to get support from the people. The police are not going to get support from the populace. They already don't get enough now. And what makes you think that they're going to be able to, without support, go in and take these guns from these people? And when you take away the guns from the law-abiding gun owners, you're just leaving it all to the police. But then that's being hypocritical, because most of these protesters here don't like the police, or are disfavorable upon them because of the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah.
Okay. Do you think that the AR-15, the weapon used in Columbine and at Parkland, should be legal and available to civilians to buy?
No, at least one would need a serious permit, regular checks.
Do you know what the AR and AR-15 stands for?
I do not, actually.
But if you had to guess, what would you think it stood for?
I would say automatic rifle.
Did you know that automatic rifles aren't legal in the U.S. The AR-15 is actually a semi-automatic hunting rifle with 22 rounds. I don't know if you know what those are. That's actually one of the smallest rounds that you can use for an AR-15, actually for a gun at all. And the holes it puts in stuff is like not even that big. The AR-15, the AR in the name, stands for Armalite, which is the company that makes it. So and there are many other rifles that do the exact same thing as AR-15 that aren't protested because they're wooden, like wood covering, right? Did you know that 80% of all homicides aren't committed with rifles? They're actually committed with handguns. And more people last year died from fists and fighting than rifles.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But that does not, it just doesn't change my stance.
And this, my ladies and gentlemen, is the definition of ignorance. Being put in front of the facts, given the facts, given statistics, given, stuff that really matters more than feelings, and ignoring it. It's actually, I think it's like a psychological problem. I forget the name for it, but being put in front of the facts, being given the evidence, and then having no evidence to back up your point besides, I don't like guns because they kill people sometimes, and guns don't even kill people, it's people that kill people. So when you go out and you protest something that you don't even know the facts about, it just makes me very angry. I mean, I just can't. Some of these people are so ignorant, and this is the major consensus among most of the protesters is that, whatever. You have these facts. Well, I'm not gonna change my stance. Oh well.
I'm sorry. It's too much for me.
All right, thank you. So Zoe, what do you think about gun control and the restriction of buying and selling weapons?
Well, obviously there should be gun control. I don't think that there should be no guns, but control is definitely needed.
Okay. Now, do you think the AR-15 should be available to the public to buy and use?
Fuck no. No.
Okay.
Good. Hell no.
All right. So, what do you think the AR and AR-15 stands for?
I actually don't know. Automatic.
Automatic?
No.
Automatic? Nick's right.
Yeah.
It stands for Armalite, which is the company that makes it.
Okay.
Do you think the AR-15's automatic?
Is it automatic? I actually don't know. I really don't know.
It's not automatic. The AR-15 is a semi-automatic hunting rifle. It's the most popular hunting rifle in the U.S. It shoots 22 rounds, which are one of the smallest rounds in guns.
Yeah, I actually don't.
I researched this topic, but the AR-15.
Why are you doing this interview? What's the point?
At this point, I'm basically just getting the group's opinions, and I'm only interviewing one person. I mean, I asked her the question about the AR-15, I get the group's answer. I ask her another question about the AR-15, I get the group's answer. I'm not getting her, what she knows about the topic, so she can validate her own opinion, because she has knowledge on this actual stuff. And at this point, she asks, hey, why are you even doing this? You know why? It's because I want to know what the opinions and, what teenagers know. What do they know? Do they know why they're protesting? Do they know why they're even out here? They know it's a stop gun violence. Do they even know who organized this event? Do they know it was the Women's March? The same group that, they marched on Washington, who Linda Salazar is completely anti-Semitic? Did they know that? Did they know the March for Lives is financed heavily by Indivisible, which is a very anti-Trump and anti-American company? Did they know that? I don't think they did. I don't think they know a lot of things. So that's why I'm out there. That's why I'm asking them. That's why I'm interviewing them. And I'm getting to know them. What is their personality? What do they believe in?
For a class.
I know, but what's your thoughts on it?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah.
People don't really like you recording. Get out.
Just saying. What's the project?
Well, my project is just going around seeing people's opinions on this. What teenagers' opinions are on this. My opinion shouldn't influence yours.
Well, it doesn't. But I'm just everyone here kind of should have the same opinion. Not should have the same opinion, but everyone here stands for the same thing.
Wrong. Everyone we've interviewed, basically, in this entire video, has had different opinions on this entire matter. Everyone has had a different solution to the problem, or no solution in some cases. And, even though some people agree and some people disagree, not everyone has the same opinion. That's so it's so infuriating, not infuriating, but it's just aggravating that someone would even think that. Like, everyone's a different person. Everyone's gonna have their own thoughts. Everyone's had different life experiences, so everyone has different opinions, and some of those opinions aren't based on facts. They're more on feelings, and some of those opinions are less valid than others in logic and reason's eyes. So yeah.
I don't stand for the same
Well,
thing.
not except for you, because I don't know why. Everyone else, everyone here.
You gotta change what fucking question you're asking or something, because what you're asking is kind of fucking making people uncomfortable.
What?
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Can you not?
Yeah, I got you.
My face
Yeah.
or anything.
You can just ask.
Yeah, I don't want that going anywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, because that was kind of random that you came up, and yeah, I don't really like that topic. I'm not here for that reason. No one wants to get jumped in the face and be like, do you want guns here or not? That's not me. I don't want it.
And so begins the mob. This girl who comes up to me and says she doesn't want her face or anything is a girl that I actually interviewed. I asked her if she wanted to be in the interview. She said yes. So I didn't just jump in her face. I walked up to her slowly, I didn't jump into her, and I asked, hey, do you want to be in this interview? I asked her. I didn't jump in her face, okay? And number two, she's like, I didn't come here to talk about guns. Boy, like, come on now. Like, why are you, if you're not here to talk about guns or to skip class, why are you here? Just go or something. I don't know.
Decisive and a unified.
You're just making people uncomfortable.
I was asked to do this by my teacher,
I know,
so it's not my fault.
Class, but if revise the question a bit.
Hey, we're ganging up on this fuck.
But Greg, you were asking for our opinions. You were asking us.
I was asking your opinion.
You were first. Greg. Then you said, do we know what an AR stands for? That's factual. That's not opinion.
Well, facts are important. Facts are really important.
And again, it all comes back to I know what my opinion is, and even though I'm confronted with conflicting facts that make sense, I am not going to back down from my opinion, even though it's been blatantly proven wrong. And she's like, but whatever, why are you out here? And I was like, I'm asking your opinions and what you know. And she's like, whatever, And I don't understand why people are so against facts. If they want to back up their opinion, they need to have facts in order to make it valid. It's not me that's validating their opinion. It's not my job to validate their opinion. But people, if they want to be taken seriously, they shouldn't be just basing their opinions off some ideology that doesn't have anything to back it up, or some form of protest that doesn't even make sense, or just something that doesn't even have any background in knowledge, and it's a solid foundation in facts.
Did the teacher require you to make the sign?
What? No, that was me. That was all me.
Okay.
I
think I made my point.
What point do you have to make? That I don't like gun control? That I don't support the March for Lives movement? You already know that. You got interviewed by me. I literally interviewed you. You should have been able to deduct from the type of questions and the type of answers that I was giving you that I don't support what you support. But apparently, just like with your opinion, you don't have the ability to use simple logic and reasoning.
Black rifles matter.
What's the meaning? Yeah.
What's the meaning?
Yeah.
The meaning is that we should not just go after rifles because they look scary.
I said this before, and I'll say it again. The entire mass hysteria behind AR-15s aren't because they're some killing machine. A lot of other guns can do the exact same things and are getting the exact same flack as the AR-15 is. It just doesn't make sense. People are scared of the rifle because it's not because it's like black, like race or anything. It's because it's black, and it looks like a military-grade weapon. It looks like something that they would use in the military because it was created as a civilian counterpart to the M16, which is something they use in the military. The AR-15 is not automatic. It uses 22s, not 50 cals. It doesn't even do that much damage. The only reason that kids use them in these shootings is because it's easily available, because it's the most popular hunting rifle in America.
Guns aren't the problem.
Gun is the problem.
Wait, no.
Gun is the problem. This is why no one's going live.
No one's pretty much going. Can you not record me?
Yeah.
No one's going after guns in particular because you can be in support of gun control and the Second Amendment.
Okay, I see what she's getting at here, that I can be in support of, restricting the buying and selling of weapons to a point and still be, in favor of the Second Amendment. But what she says, basically, what I'm talking about is the total restriction of buying and selling weapons, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Gun control. That's what it's called, okay? And if they were informed, they would know that. But you cannot be in support of gun control, the total restriction of buying and selling weapons, and be in support of the Second Amendment. Because the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. Like, what are you talking about?
Since the 1700s and the Second Amendment was made, guns have drastically changed to a point where it makes me dizzy.
I know I've been talking a lot about gun control, which is the total restriction of buying and selling weapons, right? But this girl is saying that no one wants to take away guns, all right? Now, I can see where she's coming from, right? But, see, I was doing the interviews and stuff, but I was listening to the speeches as well that the kids were saying up there. And here's the speech. One of them, you can probably hear it in the video. One of them says, "Don't tell me to arm teachers. Don't tell me that I have to wear clear backpacks. Don't tell me this. Don't tell me that." And I believe it goes on to say, the only solution to this problem is to take away the problem. And that's the mindset a lot of these people have, is the problem is guns. Take away the problem. That's not the problem, though. They can't identify the problem because they don't have the facts, and they're ignoring the facts when it's given to them. So, yeah.
Did you know that machine guns existed when the Second Amendment was written?
But you have to realize how many times guns have been created more and how they've rapidly changed. Our laws haven't. It should not be harder.
Do you think if the founding fathers were alive today?
It should not be harder for me to make plans with my friends than it is to walk into Walmart and purchase a semi-automatic weapon.
This sentence is so stupid because it implies that it's easier for you to make plans with your friends to go out to whatever, Starbucks, than for me or any other gun owner or anyone who wants to buy a gun to go into a store and buy an AR-15. This is so stupid. It's the stupidest sentence I've ever heard in my entire lifetime. Okay, in order to set up plans with a friend, right? You shoot a text to someone, right? You call them, you talk to them in person, all right? For an AR-15 to buy a gun, you have to be of legal age. You also have to, go through a background check. You also have to not be a felon. There's a lot of requirements to get a weapon in the United States of America. That is decently easier. It's decently easier to go out with your friends than it is to, let's say, buy a weapon that can kill a lot of people.
It is harder.
No,
you need background checks.
Their family, their brother, sibling. What is the point of this? What are you doing this for?
I'm doing it for class.
People losing their family.
The 19-year-old,
they're 19 younger. What's the problem? They lose
the
their
19-year-old who bought the
brother,
gun.
their mom, their dad.
Yeah.
They can't say goodbye to their parents, bro. They can't even say, "Oh, goodbye, mom. I'm sorry, we're losing our life." They didn't even know.
The 19-year-old who shot up the 19.
I don't care. They're losing their lives. Yeah, hold on.
I don't care. They're losing their lives. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I get where these people are coming from. They see the news, they see the media, they see the violence sensationalized, they see all of these things, they see Parkland, they see Columbine, they see all these things, and they see, police getting, or not police, but, anyone getting shot and killed, right? On the news and everywhere else, and it's terrifying, okay? And when the obvious answer would be to take away the problem. And they're identifying the problem as guns. That's what they identify the problem as. Or at least make it harder to get the problem, And she asked, why are you doing this? I already explained myself previously, but she's yelling over me when I'm trying to say something, which is just quite a intellectual debate style. Me yelling over someone is, ooh. Yes, champion of free speech. Silence the guy who doesn't agree with me.
Yeah, the 19-year-old who shot up Parkland bought the gun legally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. You know why? Because he had mental problems.
Exactly. And you see that nobody wants to take away guns. All they're saying is we need it to be harder.
Wait, no one wants to take away guns.
Somebody in this circle right now has a history of mental illness. I'm gonna use you as an example. Can I? If she has a history of bipolar disorder. She should not be able to walk into a gun store and purchase a gun because at any moment, say she could go off her medication, go crazy, and start shooting.
I agree.
That's just how it should be.
I agree.
And with what she was saying, you have people that go to school every day to learn. You should not be sitting in your English class one day hiding, putting a book over your head because somebody's on campus shooting.
Exactly.
Not just that, 2 cops just lost their lives yesterday eating in a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
2 men not even on call, minding their business.
Yes.
Were taken away from their families because of a gunman.
Okay.
And what she's saying just proves my point. Society does not back up the police force. The only people that stand between us and the gang rapers and the murderers and all of this other stuff, right? The society demonizes them, okay? And specifically the Black Lives Matter movement, okay? So when she says, 2 cops were just killed in a Chinese restaurant, right? Yes. I know what she's trying to say, but basically, you're just proving my point that if we take away the guns, if we, add more laws, if we do these things that everyone else is recommending, right? Notice in all these arguments, we're not providing a solution, but if we do all these things that all these people are recommending, right? What's going to stop the criminals from getting the guns? What's going to stop, the gangs and the serial killers and, people like Stephen Paddock or Nicholas Cruz from getting the guns? I mean, if I wanted to get a gun and I'm under the legal age, there are places, the black market, the dark web, stuff like that, places that people have easy access to. So she's just proving my point. Criminals will always have guns. And we are not going to be able to stop them, okay? There's only things we can do to prevent them. And a lot of the stuff they're saying isn't good. It's not, tangible. And, I feel for the police officers. I feel really bad for them. And I feel really bad for how our culture demonizes them. And I think that needs to change.
Guns are not just the problem. It's the people who are so right in the head. But your sign also as well. You should have thought about that.
I did think about it. I thought very hard about a clever saying that I could put on my sign instead of just having "I support the Second Amendment," which is a sign I did have, by the way. But this is the one that I decided to point out.
It could have been directed towards race. It could have been directed towards many different things. It's not right.
Okay, how you take my sign and how I take my sign are 2 different things.
But when you put Black Rifles Matter, but wait, when you put Black Rifles Matter, that's when you're making fun of the Black Lives Matter movement because a pink rifle don't matter? So y'all can go get a pink rifle, but it don't matter, right?
No, okay, what the sign is saying, right? What the sign is saying, is it saying that we should not be scared of a rifle just because it's black.
Now, you'll see in a second that they take this as some sort of racist comment. I don't even know how they could take it that way. Like, if I come up to you, right, and I'm like, hey, I don't like the color black on a shirt, right? Are you gonna say, oh my god, you're so racist? Like, what I'm saying is that we should not just be, I don't want to say victimized, but we shouldn't, marginalize the AR-15 or other rifles that look like it just because they're black and scary and look like, you say, the M16, which is used by the U.S. military, when they're technically 2 different things. They're totally different things. They both have different stats. They both have different calibers. They both have different firing modes, It's a completely different gun. That's what my sign is saying. My sign is saying we should not marginalize black rifles just because they look military grade.
Did you know that more people...
Wait, hold up.
That's like saying if I hit you with my right hand,
Does he think this is a joke?
Wait, so you're telling me
the rifles are not a joke. The school shootings are not a joke.
Exactly.
If you knew that people were going to be controversial and be against your sign, you should have not brought that because you know.
I have the right to antagonize people, like some might say. It's not just to get people angry. it's to challenge the majority point of view. You're getting fed only one side of the argument. You're not seeing the other side. And the other side is the silent majority. The majority of gun owners. The majority of, America are law-abiding, good people. They are white. They are black. They are Hispanic. They are Asian. They are whatever race you want them to be. They are all American, and they are all good people, okay? So, I came to the walkout with my sign and my camera because I am challenging the narrative. I am challenging the point of views that are being presented to you, and they're only being presented one-sided. Let's say I read about, controversial topic. Let's say I read about 9/11. 9/11 was a horrible event that happened to America in 2001, where 2 planes crashed into the towers, right? Now, let's say I heard it from the terrorist point of view. America is an evil country that bombs our people, and we hate them, and they invaded Iran to kill us and take down our religion, and now it's time to get revenge, okay? Now, you hearing that, you might, if you lived in Iran or something, you might think, dang, you know what? These Al-Qaeda guys are right. America is a terrorist nation. They're bad, right? But then you hear another point of view. America had to do this because we had a terrorist on the loose. We had someone who had hurt our country. We had blah 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 blah. We had people, we had problems. Okay? Saddam Hussein, a dictator. Evil man, okay? The same reason that we're not supporting Assad, an evil man. Okay? So we had our reasons, and our reasons were protecting the good and the commonwealth of the people, not just of America, but of the world. And if you heard just the one side of the gun argument, imagine how that's going to skew your point of view. Right? If you only hear one side of the argument, how are you going to think? Definitely not the other side. You're going to think the side that you heard. I am bringing another option to the table. That is why I brought my sign.
I have the right to express my opinion.
Hey! You know that sign is a goddamn joke. You have no right to bring it here when you know this is a goddamn joke.
There's a way to go about this without yelling at each other.
Can I see your sign? Come over for a second.
Okay, yeah. You're getting surrounded.
At this point, I started getting escorted off by administration. The reason is kind of convoluted, whether it was for my own safety or whether it was because they didn't like the message I was bringing to the table. But I get put on my golf cart and I get drove into the office. But I had to turn my camera off.
By too many people.
Here, hop on.
Get on the back.
Hop on, get on.
Greg.
Here, hop on. Get on.
Hey, I like what you're doing. I like it.
Go ahead.
I need to turn that off.
Yeah, that kid at the end is an absolute legend. But I got driven off the football field, and after I left, the students cheered and championed free speech, even though they just silenced the person that was voicing their opinion. Kind of ironic, actually. But I got to get checked out because I had a dentist appointment. So lucky me, I didn't have to deal with the hate. But this just shows you what people know, why they're out here, and what they don't know, and what they're being fed. I hope this video gets to some of the people that go to my school, and I hope the people who watch this all the way through really consider what I'm saying, and really just think about it, and attempt to form their own opinion, and not be just a puppet of the media. Stop sensationalizing violence. Stop using it to push your agenda. And I hope that eventually people will wake up and they'll realize that guns are not the problem. People are the problem. Thank you.